Make sure you tap that bell so you never miss a video.
Imagine being Ubisoft and having access to some of the greatest tactical shooter and FPS franchises of all time, and having to release a financial release schedule for 2019, 2020, and having to delay every single project that you were working on because of the release of Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Division 2, and because those games performed so poorly that you had to delay every single game that you were making to readjust the development schedule to give you more time to actually work and polish the games that you're making. That's what Ubisoft is facing right now. With all the hype surrounding Modern Warfare, this was kind of like a blip on my radar. I read an article about this. The financial report is targeting two specific games, and that's Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Division 2. And I'm going to say it's more specifically tailored toward Breakpoint. The game released in such a poor state that the game never even hit its sales projections, which is hilarious to me. Now, granted, there's a lot of people who work on these games, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm making fun of all of those people who have been working hard to create these games. But when I saw the game at E3, I knew, and I told everybody, I said, this game is not going to be what you want it to be. It is going to be trash. And now we're here to the point where it came out, and in this schedule and in this transcript, they say that there are three main reasons behind the underperformance of Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And interestingly, right before this, they say, based on E3 Gamescom previews and our latest internal playtests, the game's quality appeared on track during those moments. E3 Gamescom internal playtest. I don't believe it. I don't believe that. If you seriously, as a developer, played that game at E3 and you thought, yeah, this is going to be good, then it just shows you how out of touch all of these people are. And again, you guys are working hard. I know it's hard to critique your own product, but god damn, dude. You're telling me the latest internal playtest, the alpha and the beta, where people were dropping video after video after video, saying that the game was absolute trash, showing bugs, glitches, and things that just weren't fixed for the launch? You're telling me that it was on track? Give me a break. Get your head out of your ass. That's the first reason that I'm going to say the game is not living up to its potential, is because you guys don't know how to actually play test and quality control your games. But we're going to go into it here. They've identified three main reasons based on what Ubisoft thinks. First, it's harder to generate interest for a sequel to a live multiplayer game when prior iterations benefited from years of optimization. So, does that just, in other words, does that mean that you just rushed the title? Right? So, because the first game benefited from years of optimization, that you're saying that there just wasn't enough time for you to put that optimization in? Or are they saying that because Ghost Recon Wildlands was around for a couple of years with post-launch content, that when this game comes out and it doesn't have the same amount of content, it's like the MMO effect where, like, why would I play this when there's so much content here? Is that what you guys are trying to say? Consequently, we need to make sure there is more time between each iteration of live games. Thank you. That is one of the first things I said. Wildlands has only been out for a couple of years, and you guys are already bringing the heat with Breakpoint. There's no reason for Breakpoint to even exist. So I agree with them there. Second, our strategy of introducing gameplay innovations in our games has had a very positive impact on our branch. However, to win over players, these innovations need to be perfectly implemented in order to offer an optimal experience. You don't say. Like, is this baby's first development? Obviously, yes. They need to be implemented well in order for us to enjoy them. You think? This has not yet been sufficiently the case with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Yeah, duh. Easily. But I thought you said earlier that the game's quality appeared on track. Well, the change of formula has been very well received by some players with an average daily playtime per player of over 3 hours. It's also been strongly rejected by a significant portion of the community. I wish in this one they went in to talk about what innovations they're talking about. Are you talking about laying on the ground and throwing mud on your face? Are you talking about the drone implementation? Are you talking about the AI? What are you talking about when you talk about innovations? Because I'll be honest with you, Breakpoint didn't have a lot of innovation outside of a different level and a different type of enemies in terms of the drones and the innovation of, oh, I can break my fucking leg while running down a cliff and I have to bandage myself up. That's not innovation. That's been around in games. Like, what are they actually referring to here? Finally, Ghost Recon Breakpoint did not come in with enough differentiation factors, which prevented the game's intrinsic qualities from standing out. And again, they don't go into it, but it's weird. You're talking about innovations and how they have to be perfectly implemented in the paragraph before, and then you come in and say that there wasn't enough differentiation. So to me, those things are complete opposite. They're completely contradictory. I don't know what they're talking about, and they don't really go into it. They say they're tackling these issues head on and already are implementing significant changes to our production process, which we're going to get into here. We are confident in our capacity to adapt and evolve, as we have done successfully many times in the past. And that's one thing I will give Ubisoft, is they do follow through and they do try to support games. Like look at Rainbow Six. Look at how they turned that around. Ghost Recon Wildlands, in terms of the multiplayer, or the PvP, they didn't really do much, but I'll give them that. They say, in this overall context, we have decided to postpone the release of Gods and Monsters, Rainbow Six Quarantine, and Watch Dogs Legion until 2020 or 2021. While each of these games already has a strong identity and high potential, we want our teams to have more development time to ensure that their respective innovations are perfectly implemented so as to deliver optimal experiences for players. Now, this is great. I love that they're doing that. Don't get me wrong. Delaying a game and having it come out good is much better than releasing Ghost Recon Breakpoint, if I'm being totally honest with you. The problems that I have with this is I hope that Ubisoft doesn't look at Ghost Recon and decides to shelve it. Because they obviously thought that because of the success of Wildlands, that this was a franchise that was worth revisiting and bringing back in with a sequel, and the sequel just didn't hit, and it obviously didn't hit, like, significantly. I can't wait to see the actual sales numbers of Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I hope they don't look at that franchise and think, yeah, people just aren't looking for Ghost Recon. I hope they see that there is a significant portion of the community that is looking for a Ghost Recon game that's done right. I'm seeing a lot of people compare the clean house mission of Call of Duty Modern Warfare to Ghost Recon and think, goddamn, I wish Infinity Ward would make Ghost Recon. I wish Infinity Ward would make like a Rainbow Six or a SWAT game or something like that. I think Ghost Recon has the potential to fill that void for like the tactical crowd of the AAA space. But they just, for some reason, don't see the potential there. Yet you can look everywhere and see that with the release of the Modern Warfare campaign, that people are vying and craving this type of content. But Ubisoft just doesn't see the potential for one of their most tactical franchises, and it blows my mind. The other really bad thing about this report is one of the last paragraphs. Going forward, we are ideally positioned to benefit from the industry's strong expansion and constant evolution. Yeah, that sounds good so far. We are investing to develop our franchises and PRI to fully tap the potential of the mobile market, to accelerate our growth in Asia and esports, and to reap the benefits of our brand ownership in the context of the rising of streaming and the multiplication of platforms. These opportunities are powerful drivers for our future top line and profitability of growth. Now, I understand the move to Asia and the esports scene. There's definitely a lot to be had there. I also understand the context rise of streaming, the multiplication of platforms. Dude, you have influencers at the ready, frothing at the mouth to be able to promote your games for free. You know, and it's sad. There's a lot of people who would literally just take a game key to promote your game. And Ubisoft has been reaching out and doing that kind of stuff, but there are people ready to go. You don't even need to really spend much on marketing, and it's there. The mobile market context is where I'm sitting here going, God damn it, we are in trouble. Because I see Ubisoft looking at the mobile market as a way to put out cheap cash grab games of all of their franchises, much like they did with the Gearbox developed, Ubisoft published Brothers in Arms. Do you guys remember those games? God damn, those were good. But now they are literally just making mobile games using that franchise. And honestly, I see them doing the same fucking thing with games like Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six. And I hope that's not the case. Now, as of recording this on the 28th of October, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint moving forward. This was a post made by the Ghost Recon team, which is basically their post-launch release of what they're going to do in terms of fixing the game, optimizing the game, releasing content, and they basically dropped a roadmap for you guys who are playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And their first is the technical state of the game. Our first priority is to improve the technical state of the game. We know many players had a difficult time with the game bugs and unexpected stability issues at launch, and we are making every effort possible to address these issues as soon as we can. With title update 1.0.2, which was released on October 15th, our team made numerous improvements to the game, focusing on the most pressing issues that could be addressed in this time frame. They're working on further improvements that will be coming with I'm guessing title update 1.0.3, which is coming in mid-November, including fixing the drone deployment, changing fire rate, NVGs blocking crosshairs, and the mission completion notification pop-up. See, here's the thing, guys. Ubisoft said it in their statement, in their financial. These are live service multiplayer games. And if you have watched videos on YouTube from me and other content creators, you know that live service multiplayer, games as a service, is nothing short of early access AAA gaming. That's what it is. They release games in early access states so that people are like, yeah, but I mean, Ubisoft, they're going to fix it. So you were actively buying incomplete products that are buggy, broken, that are going to be fixed in due time, and then you'll be able to jump in at a lower price point later. This is what early access is. It is the same definition. This game launched, technical state of the game is trash, and now they're going to be dropping post-launch content and fixing the bugs. This is exactly what early access is, just wrapped up in a neat little bow, and you're paying $60, $70, $80, $90, $100 for that product. And if you look at that pricing model, if Ghost Recon Breakpoint would have dropped and it was $34.99, I think a lot more people would have jumped in and a lot more people would have been okay with some of the bugs. Yeah, it's not a full price game and they're going to be working on it later. And follow the early access method, where you're not paying full price game right off the bat, and maybe it'll get a little bit more expensive as time goes on as they actually work on it. But with this game, you spent $60, $70, $80 for a broken product which featured a whole bunch of microtransactions that basically allowed you to just buy stuff and bypass playing the game. And what we're seeing with Modern Warfare is the change in the in-game economy system. A lot of people might not believe them, and rightfully so. But at the end of the day, if Modern Warfare does what they're saying they're going to do with the Battle Pass and keep the loot boxes out of it, it tells me that our voices are being heard. And hopefully with Ubisoft, they look at this and they say, like they say, in-game economy. We also heard the criticism regarding the in-game economy. That's why we're currently working to make adjustments according to players' feedback in the next few weeks. That's good. That's good. That's what we want to see. It's just unfortunate that some of this stuff doesn't happen until after the game comes out and after you guys get our money, because at this point, Ubisoft isn't obligated to do jack shit. The fact that they are gives them some brownie points for me, but at the end of the day, we shouldn't really be celebrating the fact that a company is fixing a game that you already spent $60, $70, or $80 to purchase in the first place. My name is Bigfry. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. This is an interesting one. A lot of stuff is going on with Ubisoft lately, and even though the launch of Ghost Recon Breakpoint was really predictable, I knew it wasn't going to sell well. I knew a lot of the criticisms that were going on in videos before the launch was going to affect sales, even though they were all valid criticisms. I'm still very shocked and surprised that Ubisoft doesn't do more with these franchises than they're currently opting to do as of right now. And really, I don't see a fix on the horizon, because I feel like all of these games and all of these franchises and all of these studios are just building games cookie cutter to try and make a dollar, and they are actively choosing not to acknowledge what made these franchises great in the first place. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and when you subscribe, grab your phone, go tap that bell, turn it to all so you guys can get every single one of my videos. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching. My name is Bigfry. and I'll see you on the next one.